What's up everyone, welcome to Vendetta. Today we have the Ambessa Matriarch of War deck profile. Today's video I'm going to show you everything that you need to know to play Ambessa, including empower her, empowering everything else in the deck, empowering even a fancy card like Kale, and winning all of your Nexus Knights. Let's get into it. First things first, we have Ambessa Matriarch of War. Ambessa is the new orange-yellow legend. When you empower something else, empower her. You can disempower the legend, pay a power, and tap it to ready a unit, which comes up for sure. It's a simple legend effect, but it keeps things playable, I'd say, for sure. Next, we usually do the runes. So we have 7 body runes, and to honor the new body runes, we're actually showing off one of the brand new alts from Vendetta. It's a beautiful orange body rune. The entire card is textured and it's got black inking along with the graphics. Very, very honest reaction from me. I love these runes. They're like set 1 runes, but a little better. You play 7 because you have a lot of orange power cost, and then you have 5 yellows to balance out the 12. Same thing, we're showing off a brand new yellow. Oh, the angle of some of these ink marks is absolutely beautiful. The texture is also amazing. If you take these cards out, I don't know if you can see that on camera. I'm really trying to show it off, especially in the brand new 4K that we're shooting in. You should be able to see the texture. Each rune is foiled across the entire card and textured across the entire card. Unlike these ones, where these ones are just textured in the middle and in these 2 top corners. There aren't a lot of yellow power costs in this deck, so you're not meant to worry about that. Before we get into the deck, let's do the battlefields. Blind battlefield is Risen Altar. Risen Altar is a new battlefield from Vendetta. Your empower costs of your units here cost 1 energy or 1 power less, which is extremely useful. The assumption is that a lot of decks in the format, whether they're new, good, old, whatever, aren't playing in power. So unless it's a mirror, I wouldn't play this going first, blind. But outside of that, not a lot of decks are playing in power cards, so this is blind, just useful for you. Perfect for initializing and starting up the game, getting Kale online or getting Ambessa online, really showing people what the Ambessa deck can do. My going first battlefield is this, Sunken Temple. Sunken Temple is an older battlefield from Spirit Forged. When you conquer here with 1 or more mighty units, you may pay 1 to draw 1. The deck needs a little bit of draw power. Often you're not going to see every card in your deck, but the assumption is that you'll get on here with larger monsters or with your Ambessa that has climbed to a higher might, so you can pay the 1 and draw cards. Realistically, they're also not going to be playing very mighty decks, so this is a great going first battlefield. Your going second battlefield is Sandswept Tomb. Each spell that chooses 1 or more units here that are friendly to it costs 1 power less. This is basically just like lowering the cost of punch first when they're on the battlefield and you want to swing in and use a combat trick. That's relatively what it's for. The assumption is that if they're going first, they're going to get on the battlefield before you are, especially with what you have to build. You do have to play a little slower with Ambessa, so realistically this is your going second battlefield. Okay, so first things first, let's start with the units. We have our CC Ambessa the Wolf. This is a beautiful alt that looks just like her regular skin in League of Legends. It's a 4 cost energy, 4 might unit. You can empower her for 3 in a body rune. When she's empowered, she has +3, so she's a 7, and can't be dealt damage unless she's in combat. So she pretty much is against getting hit by Mel spells. A lot of the Ambessa stuff is very opposing to what Mel does, which is a Spellslinger deck. So you'll find that there's a lot of protection, a lot of hexproof, a lot of can't be dealt by or can't be damaged by effects in this deck. Boosting her up to 7 is really good because as a CC, that's 4 for 7. It might take 2 turns, it's a little slower, but it's actually extremely useful to have this card as your CC instead of the other one. Next, you play 3 Noxian Emissary. Noxian Emissary is a 2 energy, 2 drop. It's a new yellow 2 drop that's pretty useful. Before this, I was testing Honest Broker for the gold. I didn't like how slow it was to get the gold because you had to have the unit die. This unit replaces itself with a 2 recruits when it's empowered if it dies. So you can empower it for 1 power, 1 energy, and then if it does swing into something or die or crash, you can get 2 recruits out of it, which is pretty useful. Honestly, the current best orange 2 drop, I love it in this and I love it in Yi as well. Legion Marauder, 3 of these. You play 3 Legion Marauder. His empower cost is 1 energy or a power, so if you're playing seals or if you can recycle, you can tap out for it. When he's empowered, he has +1. That +1 is similar to the Shadow Order Disciple in purple or red. Purple? Yeah, purple. where just a +1, making him a 3 is distinctly different. In Master Yi, that makes it a 5 defending, but for Ambessa, it's good just to have a bigger unit that you can control whether you want to empower it or not. And again, every time you empower something, you can empower your legend, so you can ready it and then swing in. Very useful in practice. An orange 2-drop that literally cannot be removed from most orange decks is Irresistible Fae Folk. Originally I wanted this at 3, but you only kind of need this at 2. You need it for its effect, so forcing combat, pulling things into you, a charm per se. This is a card from Unleashed. It's a good card. It was great in Lucian, it was great in Fiora, it was great in all the other orange decks before this. It's great in this deck as well. We play 3 Kinku Initiate. Kinku Initiate is also from Unleashed. Initiate's a great card because it's a 3-drop that if you have more than 5 might on the battlefield, at this point you're probably playing it turn 2 or 3, probably 3 or 4, you're going to draw a card. The deck needs a little bit of card draw. It's relatively simple. It's a 3-might unit that can be used for anything, so use it, but it's great card draw. We play 2 First Mate. You don't need to play 3 of this because your Ambessa Legend will ready something. First Mate's a great card just for getting a lot of double conquer points or swinging multiple times. You don't play Zonias or anything else in this deck that like helps revive your units, so First Mate's a good movement option if you want to keep things alive off of the battlefields, or if you just want to double swing. Something that was different that we saw a lot online, but something I just like committed to. I didn't want to play 1 Kale and I didn't want to play 3 Kales. I think Kale is a great unit. I think Kale can be a great middle game plan to top end game plan unit because she requires a lot of energy to get her to her peak point, which is empowering her 3 times. If you don't know the ruling is that she can empower herself. It was a question, it was confusing slightly. I did it in the pre-rift. I empowered her 3 times, and someone asked me because it was unsure if you could empower her with her own effect once she is empowered. But her effect reads, I can be empowered up to 3 times, which makes you think that she can empower herself. Her empower cost is 3 energy. She has +2 might for each time she's empowered, so she can climb up to, what is that, 3, 5, 7, 9. She can climb up to 9, and then while she's empowered 3 times, she has Deflect 3 and Ganking, so she can move from battlefield to battlefield. This is a great unit for the double conquer. This is a great unit to play with First Mate. Late game, you can move her around, just swing into things, and she can stay on a battlefield with Deflect 3 because who's gonna bop her, you know? Next we have 2 Profiteer. Profiteer, 6/7, honestly. Like, this card is a 6/7 card. 4 energy, 4 might. When you play me, you may disempower something you control to empower a legend unit or gear, which basically just moves the empower around. This card is played at 3 in some lists I saw online. I liked it at 2 because I like it as a variable option. It's not necessary, but it's cool as an effect, and it's a 4 might unit that can do a lot more work if you need it to. So it's okay. I'd consider cutting this down even more if you just don't need it, if you have a lot more ways to empower. Next, we play pretty much the best card of the deck, Yellow Ambessa. I ended up getting 2 alts during the release day, not a 3rd, so unfortunately we have different skins, but I absolutely love this alt art. Ambessa, respected and feared. Yellow Ambessa is a 5 energy unit, 5 might. She powers for 2 yellow power and 1 energy. This, you probably don't pay the cost. Like when we play this, I don't often pay the cost. I move it with Profiteer. But if you need to, you can, obviously. When she's empowered, she has Assault 2, so she can climb up to 7. And when she attacks, kill an enemy unit here with less might than her. So you empower her, you swing in, you're probably killing something else, and then trading or doing actual combat and like using your combat tricks to fight with the 7. Great card. Pretty much the boss monster of the deck outside of Kale. It was this or nothing. We tried Galio, we tried other options. I like some other things. There's 2 other monsters to show you, but this is the best card in the deck. I would say the 3rd best card in the deck is Rune Runner. This Ambessa deck is not often a hold deck, but Rune Runner is still a card that can't be chosen by enemy spells and abilities. Honestly, when you move it into combat and you need to swing, or you need a high might unit that you want to play with the Sig spell, then it's definitely worth keeping that option available. The side deck has more options for this because when you are playing into going 2nd or going 1st and you get on a battlefield and you can withstand it, Ambessa actually is a really good hold deck. Kale empowered for those reasons, ganking, so forth. So Rune Runner can be an exclusively good card. I think it's good top end. I think the deck needed a good top end card that you could just play and not worry about being chosen by spells and effects. Last but not least, Gangplank. On theme with the rest of the Ambessa stuff. We wanted to play more Gangplank as top end, but we found that the other Ambessa is pretty good, so we just play one. Is a 6 energy, 6 might unit. You can empower him for 2 power, 2 body power. Empowered, when he's empowered, if a spell or ability that chooses me would stun him, give him minus might or return him to hand. So if you choose him to do any of those things, which includes bouncing him for purple, minus mighting him over blue, or like bouncing him to hand, or stunning him, which is a yellow situation, give him +3 instead. So he'll go to 9. This is errata to be for the, for the remainder of the turn. This isn't forever, and it's not permanent. So that's cool. It's kind of like when Gangplank eats his oranges, he becomes empowered, but he also cancels out the CC. Very reminiscent of his gameplay. Very cool card. Wish I had an overnumber to show you guys, but did not pull one, unfortunately. Really cool art for what it is. Gangplank's a great unit, and I think it could be the second best unit in this deck. Now to the spells. Okay. First things first, Orange Hard Bargain. Every deck needs a counter spell, honestly, for the big bombs and for things that might happen to you that might be relatively annoying. Repulse is a 1 energy, 1 power card that you can play on reaction, that if they choose you choose a friendly unit out of battlefield, counter an enemy spell or ability that chooses it and no other friendly unit. So if they're going to bounce something, if they're going to kill something, if they're going to lacerate it or execute it, you can counter it. It'll protect the unit that you have, again speaking to the hold type situation. If this needs to be played and it's not on a camel because they're not choosing the camel, you can choose it. You can protect your Gangplank, you can protect your Ambessa. You only play one because with the deck you're going to draw into your power cards. We often agree on this channel and elsewhere, your power spells should be played at 1 because you may not need most of them. The consistency engine spells are things you play multiples of, so you want to see multiple of them. Speaking of consistency, Punch First. You want to see this card, you want to at least open this card, you want to get on a battlefield, you want protection for when they're swinging into you. Not much needs to be said about Punch First, obviously, from discussing the battlefields and discussing your overall power costs. Punch First gives you +5 this turn. Don't, like, it's basically like your counter trap, your hand trap, your anything you need to do to protect your units or swing into clearing a battlefield. Punch First is the way to go. We play 2 Sabo in main. Sabo main is good for removing their Punch First. It's good for removing their defies or their counter spells that will stop you from using your spells. Often you're going to need hand knowledge to determine the pace or tempo of the game as well. Sabotage is good for that, but not as necessary to be played at 3. But it can be bumped up. There is the 3rd in the side. Next we have Ambessa's signature spell, Public Execution. Public Execution is a great 2 energy, 1 power mixed. Choose a friendly unit, kill an enemy unit with less might than it. So it's like a one-way challenge. It has flow, which is a new keyword. Flow is you pay 5 energy and 2 power to cast it again from your graveyard, but when you cast it again from the trash or graveyard, you have to banish the card. Essentially, you want to pump any of your monsters or any of your units to a higher might, and then use public execution to eliminate whatever's on the battlefield. This also hits base, so you can get rid of problematic cards before they get to the point where they need to fight you. With all the empowering going on, I really wanted to play more of this, but we needed space for other things. Guttural Roar is a new combat trick that Orange got. It's basically their discipline. But if your unit is empowered, it gets an extra 2. So basically cast a second time for free. Most of your cards are empowered in this deck, so realistically, it's going to get +4 most of the time. You only need this as like a replacement for Punch First. The energy does a pretty good job, and like if you ever need +2 to climb over or to get on a battlefield and draw an extra card, it's useful. If you don't agree with most of the things in this deck though, you can bump it to 3. I think there's a secret to how good this card is in this set. It's one of the cards that I talked about in my broken cards video that never came out because there are too many broken cards in this set for me to really decide. Key Barrier is a 2 energy, 1 yellow power spell on reaction. You choose a unit, prevent the next 7 damage to it that would be dealt to it this turn. So if you need to protect the camel, if you need to basically wipe things out, this was a stun card before. It almost feels like a stun card, but you get to do more damage and it prevents the 7 damage, so it could be split across a lot of stuff if it's like multiple creatures swinging into your one creature that is holding. Again, the deck isn't necessarily a holding deck, but there are things that we play to make it a better holding deck. Speaking of another power spell, this is a 2-way challenge. Challenge is a 2 energy, 1 power, 1 body power to play on action. You can hit base with this, so you can use it as a removal essentially, but you choose a friendly unit, you choose the enemy unit, and they deal might to each other. Often you're going to pump your unit before you do that so that your unit doesn't die, but if it absolutely must, you can just eliminate them both. Hidden Blade was great because it gets on a battlefield. I want to replace this card with other options. I think there is a gear in this set that can give you +2, and then when it's empowered, it can give you +4. I like that gear a lot. Hidden Blade is a great card because it could have been a stun card as well. I don't like the idea of giving them 2 draws. But often you can kill your own unit, the 2-drop that is empowered that makes 2 recruits, and then you can draw 2 cards yourself. The deck needs a little bit of card draw. Often you're using it on yourself anyways, and you're just like hiding it for a power. Realistically, that's not the best option. I'm sure there are lots of other options that you could replace with these 2 cards, but for now, it's been useful. Honestly thought about Facebreaker or something else. More stuns. Lastly, Rampage. Very similar to another version of Challenge, honestly. This is a great card. It's great in Yi, it's great in other decks. I considered bumping this to 3. I think in my first version of Ambessa, I had it at 3. As you play this, you may pay a power as an additional cost. Choose a friendly unit and give an enemy unit. If you paid the additional cost, give the friendly unit +2. So it pumps your unit on activation if you paid the power. Then they deal damage equal to their might to each other. So essentially you are challenging with your +2, so your creature will be over the might and won't die. Something to remember is that when you challenge or do these things and your creatures take damage, that when you swing into combat, even for an empty showdown, you will still have damage marked to you. But after the showdown ends, your creatures heal. So it's important to play around that. I remember in testing that was very important, because you will essentially just trade all your units because they're still marked with damage, even if you're trading with a little thing because you've taken damage this turn. Now into the side. There is quite a gear-heavy format in front of us, with Aurelia being the best deck in the format. So Akshan is great because he can come in as a unit that can steal a lot of gear. If you're playing into the mirror, he can steal things. He can steal Zonias from Yi, he can steal Guardian Angel. He steals a lot of things. This could be, again, more stuns, but for now, I like it as a universal, like Nexus Knight kind of deck. Side deck option. And Aurora, obviously. Play more Camel, but with more Camel, we play double Triforce. This is for when you want a big hold. If you find that you are just like playing into a Spellslinger deck and you want to up the tempo on them, you don't want to play at their pace, you want to play at yours, you play Rune Runner and Trinity Force. Trinity Force increases the amount of times you get points when you score, and then you tie that to a Camel or to an Ambessa or a Kale, and you're just like, you're cooking. You're actually cooking. Another hold, but another combat trick could also be the stun that I was looking for. This was main deck originally, now its side is Vi, the Peacekeeper one, so you can ambush with it. So 5 energy, 1 power, comes out of your hand, it stuns when it attacks, so you can do it on combat swing. So imagine they kill a unit, but they're also holding with something else bigger. You play Vi from your hand, you stun it, this and Ambessa, that's a lot of might swinging in. That's like 13 might swinging in, and their unit is stunned now, and they sacked something when you attacked. So realistically, it's a great card. It's a power card for sure. More Repulse for when you're big holding, or when you just are playing into Spellslingers that you know are going to be tough and annoying. Repulse is good for that. Removal, Kaisa, Annie, pretty much anything. I mean, countering a Starcross with this is just crazy. And last but not least, more gear hate. Salvage is good because you get some draw power. You don't need to kill a gear to draw, so if you just need to play it just to draw cards, that's fine. But you may kill a gear and draw a card. So getting rid of any Ezreal packs, getting rid of purple, getting rid of Kennen's gears, the seals, getting rid of Aurora for other cards. Like siding this in the Aurora matchup is heat. It's important, it's relevant. This is useful for this. What you would side out is often you would look at the different types of challenges. They're not playing a lot of units in Aurora, so you would take out your challenges, you would take out your Rampage if you want to play more gear hate, but you want to keep those cards in if you're doing the big hold. What you would remove when you're big holding is a little bit more units, because you're swapping units and Triforce gear for other things. I'd keep Key Barrier in, I'd keep Guttural Roar in, I would take out maybe different types of units, so I'd take out Gangplank, I'd take out Profiteer, maybe even cut a Kale or a First Mate, or just a Resistible Feyfolk, because you don't necessarily need to remove big units when you're holding, you just need to get on a battlefield first. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the Ambessa deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to Lockbox. If you guys want new beautiful sleeves that are in these, all the decks that we profile are in these Lockbox relics. They have amazing things on their website. If you go to lockboxtcg.com, if you use code LD5 at checkout, you will get 5% off, and I will definitely try to thank you in the comments for using that code. We got more deck profiles coming. Vendetta season just started. If you guys want to see cool, fun stuff, I'm not doing the meta stuff. I'm playing and making fun stuff and testing all kinds of different things. But if you do want to see something like Kennen or the wild variants of other things, or old decks that are becoming modernized, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.